about the cloud, this notion of the cloud, the ability for us to have connected devices, a device which is in your hand, which most of you have, a device on your lap, which many of you are sitting with, and a device on your wall, which many of you now are able to connect to, is happening because of a shift in how our technology is becoming ubiquitous and information is flowing between these devices. Now, once you have that, and that is continuing to grow because of the power of the mobile, the fundamental shift that is happening is you as an individual are no longer at the end of the information chain, that we are no longer just consumers of information, but we are both creators and consumers of information, which essentially means that somebody in a rural area in Chile can, through the power of technology, contribute to a conversation that is going on. And we are seeing that carried out in the world today in the Middle East. So this power is changing the way, I believe, telecentres and its impact on the poor and the role of economic opportunities. So think a little bit about that in terms of our role as both creators and consumers of information. The second point I want to make is we are clearly seeing a shift in technology, and mobile is becoming the key shift that is taking place. But the important thing that is happening is in the economy. Today, the economic center is no longer in the developed world. The gravity has shifted. It is part of the emerging world. It is part of the developing world. And the fact that globalization and connectivity makes it possible for somebody in rural Africa to sell goods in the US or Europe or in Chile for that matter, brings about a shift that is taking place that we have from a telecenter movement not necessarily effectively harnessed yet. And that's where the opportunity is as we think of moving forward. And the final point I want to make is that as these shifts are taking place, we should continue to think about the role of innovation that we will play, means each of you, as members of the telecenter movement, and how are you going to innovate on technology platforms that are going to allow you to harness the power. Richard again alluded to that in terms of these various apps that are being developed and multiple platforms that are there. What can you do to ensure that there is an economic opportunity available because of innovations that you're doing on a platform that is out there, that is being used by the poor? The second is this whole social media revolution. How many of you are on Facebook? Come on, don't be shy. Most of you. How many of you are tweeting from here? Many of you are tweeting. Right, so this notion that we are simultaneously able to take this power and make that go out into your community that is reading this, following you, looking at it, is helping change the way we will continuously evolve around that power of connectedness. And there is an opportunity for the telecenter movement to play a role in that. And how does that lead to economic opportunities? And finally, it is the power of the people. We have seen that you can unleash the power of the people, and disruptive technologies rather than it becoming a challenge, is actually becoming an opportunity to harness this disruption that technology is creating and is allowing for people to participate in masses that we have not seen before. And that, I think, is an opportunity for us. And if you put all of that together, we are fundamentally then have to rethink the world that we live in. How are we reimagining who the expert is? Am I the expert sitting here? Or is the person in the village that is actually trying to create that economic opportunity the expert? How do we create these powers of institutions, as our moderator mentioned? What is the role of collaboration? How are we all coming together? And these are all, in my mind, shifting, and we need to reassess. And I believe the Telecenter movement can be at the center of this reassessment. And that's where I find great leverage in what we are doing. So thank you very much, and I really appreciate the opportunity for coming here. I want to thank the organizers and my friend Claudio Rego and the Attached movement to putting this on, and for the Telecenter leadership to ensure that we were all able to gather here in Chile today. Thank you.